Hello, welcome to June. Let's do a June budget. This is not even going to be really super accurate either. This is just going to be what I think I'm going to be looking at for June money-wise, since new job, no idea like what my pay is going to normalize. Like I have a general idea of what my pay is going to normalize like, but as far as expenses as well, I haven't been in this apartment for a full month yet, so I don't know exactly what all the utilities are going to be, you know, things like that. But let's just jump in. Here is my Google Sheets spreadsheet because I'm forever a spreadsheet person. It does look a little different down towards the bottom, but we'll talk about that when we get there. For now, we always start at the top with income, and W-2 income is definitely a big thing that's changing here. And I have explained to you guys that my goal with my new job is to do 12 sea days a month, and I am paid based on days at sea. $300 a day times 12 is $3,600 a month, and all I've done is taken 20% off of that for taxes. That's just a rough estimate. I think federal is around, well, there's like that chunk, it's like $2,600 or something like that, right around there, and then everything over that is taxed at 12%, and then Massachusetts state tax is 5%. I just rounded all of that up to 20 just to err on the side of caution. So my take-home pay will probably be more than $2,880. I'm going over conservative, as I always like to do. I will get more money than just my sea day pay, just because there are things like when I talk to my data editor when I'm back on land, I get paid for those hours as well, and the hours that I'm spending on land uploading paperwork and getting all the things ready to like electronically upload my data. So it should be a little bit more than that. And again, like 20% for taxes is probably a little high, but I just go conservative. Now, rental income, you guys know I have the one rental property. It should be about $643.31 per month coming in from that property. That's rent minus property management fee minus the mortgage. I save all of this, so this is not income that I live on, but it is an income for me. But it just gets, my rental property has its own separate bank account, and then it's just used to cover expenses for the property or whatever. So far that's been the case. So anyway, YouTube income. YouTube is paid a month behind, so I do know for June I will get the May payout. Wow, brain fart. And it should be about $367, which is amazing. You guys are so amazing. Like, wow. So that's like growing a little bit over time, and it's like blowing me away, to be honest. That's so cool. I don't use that to live on either. I'm trying to save every penny of that. So since my whole life has been like changed and uprooted lately, I don't know exactly what money I'm going to be able to save and what I will be using to live on, especially since I'll be moving again soon. But anyway, support, that is direct support from you guys. There are some of you that choose to support me, which is so incredibly wonderful, and I have zero expectation of that, of course, but it does generally end up being an income almost every month. So obviously I want to capture that, and generally I save all of that as well, unless told to buy specific things with it, like snacks. In that case, I do. High yield savings account interest, that is basically my emergency fund, is sitting in my SoFi account that has 4.6 APY right now, and so that should gain about $130. Really, the only one that I live off of out of all of these is my W-2 income, and I try to save everything else, but again, life's just up in the air right now. So now let's move down to the expenses. First and foremost, the biggest one is always going to be housing. I pay $1,500 a month for this apartment right now. That'll be changing soon. I hope. Health insurance. I did end up getting health insurance through the marketplace the other day. It's not as bad as I was expecting. Thank goodness. You guys know health insurance in this country scares the shit out of me because our health system is, based on my new income, I will end up paying $125.44 a month. It's like $92-ish medical and $34-ish for dental. Not bad. I feel okay about $125.44 a month. All right, electricity. I don't know. I'm just budgeting $60 because that's what I was roughly paying at my last apartment, although I'm in a different state now, and I know electricity bills here are very different than they were in New Hampshire, so I'm nervous about that one. So far, because I moved in middle of April-ish, I've only paid for like a partial month, so I don't know what the full month will look like. And same with gas heating. So this is a new bill for me. My last apartment had everything wrapped together, but now I pay gas heat, which luckily we're coming into the warm summer months, and the partial month for April bill that I got was like $7.70 or something, but I'm not really sure. I've just ballpark $20. We'll see what we see. Internet has been $65, but I noticed my bill the other day was up to $70, so I just reached out to Xfinity and I was like, why did my bill go up? And they were like, oh, do you want to lower it? So they popped me into a new contract because that's what they do, right? You can just call every year and like they'll friggin' get you on a new customer plan every time. It doesn't matter. So going forward, my bill is apparently going to be $55 a month, but I don't know if that's going to be, she said it would be effective for the bill that's about to be charged to me in the next few days, but I don't know. We'll see. So I just left it at 65 for now. It might be 70. It might be 55. Now Mohila is my student loan servicer. It's $334.96. That will be changing since my income has dropped. I think like the best thing to do, I don't exactly have a letter that very specifically outlines that I will be doing 12 days a month at $300 a day. Like I don't have like that kind of documentation to provide for them to use. So the other option is like W-2 pay stubs, and since I haven't gotten any yet, I haven't not been able to submit that to them, but that should definitely be lower July forward, so stay tuned for that. Gym, yeah, have not signed up for a gym here just because, well, y'all have seen how things have been going. We're not staying here, so there's no point. So we're not gymming it yet. Netflix, that's always $22.99. Food and household, I budgeted $200. I was trying to budget $150 before I moved, and then like moving and complete tanking of mental health and all of the things that have made the last month a little bit messy, if you will. And I'm definitely not inspired to cook in this kitchen in any way because there's zero countertop space and it's annoying as hell. So I've been spending more on food because it's easier to buy it elsewhere, which sucks because I've been feeling like shit. So I'm trying. Not that anyone cares, but I'm trying to get back to cooking and just dealing with this kitchen, but yeah, 200. I don't know. We'll see how we do. Gas and car wash, 100. I'm also been driving a lot to try to get my mental health back where it needs to be. Pet supplies, I'm gonna have to do a pet order, so I think like $65. And then invest, donate, save, spending, and other. I just left them at 0. Like, obviously, every month I want to be investing, saving, and donating. For sure. I just, until like my income and my life renormalizes again, like I just kind of more of a batten down the hatches thing, and we'll see what we're able to do. Again, this income should be more than $28.80, but I'm just trying to be conservative until I know for sure and get some runtime with the new job. But at least for now, my expenses, in theory, should remain less than my W-2 income, which is always the goal. And that way I have these other incomes to save. I don't know. I also like to try to make it a goal to save some of my W-2 income as well on top of those other things. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see how we go. Now, down to, so this is where I've changed my spreadsheet from prior months. I had been, like, kind of netting my emergency fund against my student loan balance just because, in theory, I was trying to, like, save up the entire amount of student loan debt that I owe so that, like, maybe one day I can just pay them all off. And it's like, that's such a fucking pipe dream. No. Ma'am, just like keep your emergency fund. So I've just decided to kind of break that apart, and there's such mixed emotions on the whole student loan shit because there's obviously the people who are diehard, the camp, like, no, you took out that money and regardless of what a shit situation it left you in, like, you have to pay that back. And like, yes, obviously, I know and I understand that, but for the last 20 years, student loans have, like, ruled my mental, financial existence and have had this, like, chronic umbrella of stress over my life that made me feel like no job I ever had was enough money to combat them, and it's been such a hopeless feeling for so long because I was just always like, the student loan debt is just always here and weighing on me and, like, in the back of my mind, and a lot of decisions have been kind of based on that being there, and like, how do I get out from under the, you know, no. I have, in the last year, very much decided to say, you know what, they're there, they're not going anywhere, but I can't let them rule my mental health, my whole life. So I've kind of, like, compartmentalized them into a thing that's there. Yes, I have this monthly payment, but there's no way in hell I will ever be able to pay them off. So I'm not going to try anymore. I'm not saying I'm not going to pay them. I'm going to pay my payment for sure. But to try and think that I'll ever get to the point of saving up $178,209 is just, no, it's just not going to happen. And for those 5 years where I was working at the nuclear plant and I had a 6-figure salary, I thought that job was going to be the thing that allowed me to pay them off, like in a few years or even in 5 years. And no, even that was so friggin' unrealistic that I didn't even come anywhere close. I made massive progress, but, like, no, it's just never going to happen, especially because of the shitty way that their compounding interest structure is configured, whatever. It's just not. And, like, I've gotten a lot of flack for saying that in the past, and, like, I get it, but it's really hard for people to understand what that's like if you're not, like, in that person's shoes, right? And so in my heart, it's like, I borrowed, the original principal I borrowed was $140,000, roughly. To date, I have paid about $143,000 towards student loan debt. And I wiped out all of my private student loans, and so now I've had this federal balance forever, but, like, all those years of not being able to get ahead on them because of the shitty interest structure, like, the balance just ballooned for years. And that also, of course, added to the whole mental health problem with student loans, and I'm sorry for the student loan tangent on the June budget. I've just restructured my budget to compartmentalize them into the place where they're not, like, mentally killing me all the time. So I'm just kind of, like, trying to give the backstory because there are so many people that feel so passionately about student loans, and they kind of look at people with student loans like, well, you took that money out, that was stupid. And, like, trust me, I've gotten every comment under the sun about how stupid I was for taking out student loans. Like, I don't need to hear them anymore, but I get it. But for me, like, I've already paid back more than I owe. And yes, I understand the loan principle. Like, you owe interest on that loan too, for sure. And I still have, 12-ish more years to continue paying on these damn student loans. I will absolutely pay back way more than I ever borrowed, because I've already paid the full amount that I've borrowed, and I still owe $178,209. So for the people that like get angry with me for saying like I'm not gonna try and like go above and beyond to pay them off early, like I don't know, I kind of like wish they would take a second to step back and think about that, and like think about how they would feel if they were in my situation and like they've already paid the amount they borrowed, but yet the amount that they still owe is substantially more than the amount they borrowed. How is that not the most deflating feeling on the planet? And so I just like, I can't let that bring me down anymore. So that's why student loans, they're just gonna sit down there at the bottom of the list, existing. And yes, I have my monthly payment, and I'm always gonna pay that because I deserve to pay that. I took that money, I signed on those dotted lines, and I know that. Again, like I said, I still have another 12-ish years to continue paying on them before I hit that 25-year forgiveness. If that's even a thing at that point. I don't know. I'm not banking on anything at this point, but you know, it's just, I hope you guys understand my meaning when I with what I'm trying to convey here. Like, they're just, I need to put them in their place because they cannot continue to rule my life anymore. Fuck the student loans. Anyway, a goal of $30,000 on my emergency fund. We're currently at $36,268, which is amazing. I just want to let that keep building. And like I said, that's sitting in that high yield savings account. So that amount just goes up every month just from interest. It's growing and growing and growing. So I'm super proud of that. Like, that's amazing. And that has brought so much peace and mental comfort to my life, having that emergency fund. And then sinking funds. I just lumped all three of them together. So car, vet, and medical, annual expenses, and my fund. I just like put 2,000 in each of them. So 6,000 collectively. And like I told you guys, this move, which has been expensive, and like recovering from unemployment and the turbulence of all that shit, it kept me from going in my sinking funds. I mean, in my emergency fund, but I did use my sinking funds for those. So they were roughly down to like $2,000, but as of Transfer Tuesday, I added that $150 of support in there from Carol and Mark, and I got cookies with the support from Amy. So thank you guys so much. So we're just going to keep growing that, you know, about $38.50 to go to get those back to a fully replenished amount. But yeah, so then, like I said, debt, so those damn student loans, which there they are, and there they'll be. That's all I got. Again, I'm super sorry for the student loan ramble, but I just feel like I have to explain myself because there's so much mixed opinion on them, and like very harsh mixed opinion, and so many people have called me like a shithead or a dumbass for taking them out, and now like not doing everything I can to throw every extra penny towards them to pay them off. I'll be like 90 by the time they're paid off if I did that, and then I miss my entire life. So no, sorry, but like that's my choice, and to each their own. That's just my choice based on my circumstances and the balance that I still have. Like that's such, and just the way that their interest rate is structured. Like, I'm on the save program now, so my balance is never going to go up anymore. But if I ever did want to pay ahead on them, what I have to do is first pay all of the accrued interest of that month, which, by the way, it accrues almost that balance accrues almost $3,000 in interest every single month. I have to clear that balance first, and then put more money if I want anything to go to principal. If I'm not even bringing home $3,000 a month, how the hell am I going to do that? So, I don't know. I know it feels like I'm just really defending myself, but obviously this whole channel has been based on student loans and me dealing with my student loans. And as I'm trying to move away from that, like I've gotten so much backlash about it, and it sucks. It's hard. It's hard to explain, and it's hard to like get across how deflating they are, or how deflating like the situation feels. And I don't know. Obviously not everyone's gonna understand, and I don't care. Whatever. I'm not here to please everybody, so I'm just here to share me and what I believe is right for my circumstances and situation. And like I said, I still got 12 more years. I'll be paying the government monies. I feel zero guilt about not going above and beyond to try to pay these off early. Because by the time that I hit that 25-year forgiveness, if that's even a thing, like I said, like I don't trust the government to honor anything, but I don't know, we'll see. It's just no. They're just gonna sit there and exist because of choices that I made when I was younger, and is what it is. I don't know. I am gonna go up to New Hampshire because I have a concert tonight and I'm so excited. That's probably why I look like shit. I haven't been to a concert since February, so I don't know. We're on like a 6 videos in a row streak now of people telling me how old and shitty I look lately, so we'll see if this is number 7. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.